Hey guys, good morning. Can you hear me? Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. I
Yeah,
can hear you.
morning. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. What's about you?
Fine, fine. Because today is like this week, we'll go focus on today and tomorrow the collection framework concept, right? Collection framework, guys. I'll prepare the interview questions for the collections and I'll prepare the material for the collections. And at the end of the class, I'll take your all mail IDs and I'll send you the. I'll take all mail IDs and I'll send you the material and that interview questions to mail IDs. Okay. Okay, good. And coming to the collection framework, guys, I hope you know importance of collections, right? Everything, guys, everything collections is the main part, right? Collections is what the main part. See, guys, in the real time, what exactly how the collections are used, what is a method reference? These called topics covered in collection framework, guys. List implementation classes we will see. List implementation classes, array list, linked list, vector, and stack. Set implementation classes has set, linked asset, tree set. Queue implementation classes are there. Priority queue, right? Priority queue is there. Yes, basically, collection framework is divided into two parts here. One is a collection part. Yes, collection framework is divided into how many parts? Two parts. One is a collection part. One is a map part, right? Yeah. Again, collection contains three parts: list classes, set classes, and what queue classes, right? Guys, collection framework is divided into how many parts? Means there are two parts of collection framework. Okay, what are the two parts? One is the collection data. One is like collection data. Second one is what? One is
List and
collection and map basically. Guys, parts of the collection framework is like there are two parts, guys. Collection and the map. So collection means what? Collection is representing like single object format, guys. See, list of values means what? List of 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40, right? It means even the list can store what? Yeah, list can store what? 3 4 values here, like multiple values, but single element format, right? These collection classes can hold the single element format, but map classes can hold the data like key value pair format, guys. This is like triple one Ratan and triple two Anu. This is like key and value, right? This is a key value first item. This is a key value, right? Second item. So we understood that the collection framework is divided into how many parts? Yes, please respond. The collection framework is divided into how many parts?
Two parts.
Two parts.
What are the two parts? One is a collection part.
And
One is a
Map.
collection part. One is what? Map, right?
collection and map.
Collection and map is there.
Yes,
And
sir.
again collection is divided into how many parts? Three parts. What are the three parts, guys? Here, one is the list classes, list classes, set class, and what are
Classes.
the classes, right? What is the difference between the collection and map means? What is the difference between the collection and map? The collection is used to store the single object format. Collection is used to store the data. Used to store the data in which format, guys? Single object format. Map is used to store the data in like two object format in the form of what? Key value pairs, right? Exactly. Okay, see, collection is completely different. Map is completely different. The root interface of the collection framework is collection only. Guys, what is the root interface of the collection framework?
It's collection only.
The root interface of the map is what? Map only.
Map.
Root interface of the collection framework is collection. Root interface of the map is what? Map. Guys, root interface of the map is what? Map only. And the collection interface contains the parent interface, guys. That is called java.lang.iterable is there. Guys, collection is the root interface, right? Even the collection contains parent interface, which is from java.lang.iterable, guys. Okay, java.lang.what iterable, right? Yeah, I think collection contains parent, which is like java.lang.iterable. I think that iterable is from which version, Java 8 API documentation, you can see. Yes, iterable from which version? There's always see, try to check the API documentation to write the code. Don't remember the things, right? Guys, I will show you the collection framework. By seeing this API documentation, I'll write the code. Okay, by seeing this API documentation, I will write the code. See this point, guys. That iterable is belongs to java.lang package. Let me go for the packages section here. Java.lang package, right? Java. Yeah, this is like java.lang package, right? Click on java.lang package, guys. In the below, you'll get that package information. This is java.lang package information, right? Which is like iterable, guys. Iterable is interface, no? Click on this iterable. If you click on this iterable, guys, oh, very good. The iterable interface is there. Since which version you can see? Iterable is from which version, guys? Since see, implementing this interface allows object to the target the for each loop statement. Guys, for each loop statement, basically for each method is there that I'll tell you. See, guys, each contains like 3 methods. For each method, iterator method, split iterator method. So very important things here. These are iterator method, iterator method for each method. So list iterator method, right? Exactly. So anyhow, so iterable is belongs to which version, guys? Here, guys, iterable is belongs to which version? Java 5th version, right? Exactly. That is one point, guys. And the collection framework, all the related class and interfaces present which version, guys? Which package? The collection related information present in the package name is what? Java.util package, right? So collection framework means we are discussing like, guys, collection framework means we're discussing Java.util package here. And basically, the collection framework introduced in Java JDK 1.2 version. It means JDK 1.0, 1.1, we don't have the collection framework, guys. The collection framework is introduced in what? Tell me, our collection framework introduced in what?
1.2 version.
1.2 version, right? This is the point, guys. Yes, you got the clarity, right? The root interface of the collection framework is a collection. The root interface of the map is map only. The collection interface contains parent. Collection contains a parent interface. What is a parent interface? Iterable. The collection related information present in the package. The package is Java.util package, and the collection framework contains which collection framework is introduced in which version, guys? JDK 1.2 version, right? Exactly. There's all the points are clear. Good. These are like parts of the collections, guys. And see, sometimes I'm using collection, sometimes using collections. Guys, collection is a different word, collections is a different word, right? Yeah, collection is the root interface of the collection framework here. When I use the collection word, collection is the root interface of the collection framework, whereas collections is a it's a class, guys, basically. Whereas collections is a class, it contains some methods to perform operations. Okay, guys, collections is a, guys, tell me, collections is what? Collections is a class, right? Collections is a class, contains some methods. Guys, collections is a class, contains some methods to perform some operations, right?
Right.
Exactly. That is called collection versus what? Collections here. Good. So we are discussing collection framework. What is the purpose of the collection framework? Guys, collection main purpose is what? Representing the group of objects as single entity. Guys, collection main purpose is what? Representing the group of objects. What? The shaker map also comes under collection framework only, but map is separate part, not as a collection data. That's what I'm writing the clear point here. Collection is completely different part, map is separate hand. So for that, collections is a collection framework class, a root interface, a collection. For the map, the root interface is the map itself. Map doesn't contain a parent is a collection. Very clear. Map doesn't contain the parent is what? Map doesn't contain the parent is a collection, right? Yeah, map doesn't contain the parent is what? A collection. Guys, the definition of the collection framework, guys. The main object of collection framework is what? Guys, the main object of collection framework is what? Yeah, Akshay, definitely. End of the class, I'll share these complete notes. But time pass purpose, some people came, right? For that, guys, I will not share that. I know at the end of the session, I will take your mail IDs. I will share this data. Definitely. What are the materials that I have? Because the main object of collection framework is what? To represent a group of objects as single entity. Guys, the main object of collection framework is what? The main object of collection framework is representing the group of objects single entity, guys. So collection means representing the group of objects as single entity, guys. Java collection framework provides very good architecture to store and manipulate the group of objects. Guys, collection framework is providing very good architecture. Collection framework is providing very good architecture to store and manipulate the group of objects, right? Exactly. Yes, collection contains a group of classes and interfaces. Yes, collection contains a group of classes and interfaces that make it easier to handle the group of objects. Guys, first case, representing group of objects as single entity, manipulating the group of objects, handling the group of objects. It means for the purpose of the collection framework, the main object of collection framework is what? Guys, please respond. What is the main object of collection framework?
Managing the object by
representing the group of objects
Group
as
of object as a single entity. And
representing
second, it provide a good architecture to store and manipulate group of object. And last is the collection contain group of classes, rich number of classes and interface that is easier to handle the group of object and in the to actually manipulate.
Yeah, you got the clarity, right? The main object
According to
of
requirement, according to the project requirement, actually we can manipulate.
yeah, depends on the application requirement. You can store the data, can manipulate the data, right? Fine.
Sir, collection also provides ready-made method to use of data structures.
Exactly. That's what the collections are very popular, right?
Okay, sir.
See, define the collection framework means what is your answer? We need to say like, because in interviews don't say like paragraph answers here. In interviews, always we need to say like, single enough answer, right? That my students, right? I shared the interview questions for that. I shared the interview questions for my students. So always that should be like, short and sweet. So always the question should be like, very small answers here. So even in the collections, I'll prepare that. Even in the collections, I'll prepare that interview questions. So for the OOPS concepts interview questions, you can see. So always the question should be very small and sweet. In interviews, guys, paid students means they'll tell you like in a paragraph answers. Abstract classes, interfaces. If you ask this type of question to a prepared student, he will tell you the 10 differences side by side. Who is ready to listen your 10 differences? Tell me. They need application point of view. What is interface? What is abstract class, right? Do you think they will listen like declare the interface keyword, declare the abstract class keyword? Who want these points here? Yeah, so that is very important thing here. These are the interview questions regarding interfaces. Or the advantage of polymorphism. Can we overload final methods? Define overriding. Maybe overriding means you said like multiple definitions, right? But see guys, this is a single line definition the project in the interviews we are expecting. Define overriding means what? A method overriding. Overriding says method overriding. Rewriting the parent method implementation of the child class. Rewriting the parent method implementations in the child class to write the child specific implementation, right? Yeah, fine. This kind of interview questions I'll prepare for you. But coming to the collection framework is the main object of collection framework is what? Representing the group of objects as a single entity. Our collection framework is providing very good architecture to store and manipulate the group of objects. Our collection framework group of class interface that make easier to handle the group of object, right? It's easier to handle the group of objects, right? Exactly. Okay, that is the definition of the collection framework, guys. Good. Finally, we decided Collection framework is representing the group of objects as a single entity, right? Single entity. So what are the topics which we covered in the collections means list classes, guys, array list, linked list, vector and stack, set classes, hash set, linked asset, tree set, queue implementation classes, priority queue, map implementation classes, hash map, linked hash map, tree map. So cursors, guys, to read the data from the collection classes, we have the cursors, enumeration, iterator and what list iterator, and sorting the data, comparable versus comparator, and cloning and serialization processor, collection stream API, which is filters, mappers, and reducers. Collections is the generics to provide the type safety, functional programming as with lambda expressions and method references. Yes, lambda expressions and what? Lambda expressions and what? Method references, right? Exactly. This is a topic that we are going to see basically. Good. Let me take the example so that you'll get the more clarity. Let me start one example first. Yes, to do the applications, you're going with Eclipse ID. Yes, to do the applications, you're going for Eclipse ID. We're using Eclipse ID. Akshay Kumar. So I'm preparing for the interview, so I want not time. Yeah, fine. Guys, this is like Spring 8 a.m. notes. So fine. Like otherwise, yeah, Spring 8 a.m. Yeah, let me create one collection data. It's not a problem. Right? Good. Guys, collection main purpose is what? Representing the group of objects as a representing the group of objects as single entity, guys. Let me start the collection classes, collection data, guys. Collection contains how many parts? Guys, collection contains so many parts.
So 3 parts:
Collection contains 3 parts, right? What are 3 parts, guys?
list, set, and queue.
List classes, set class, and queue classes.
Yes.
There's the difference between the list and set is like what is the difference between the list and set is
Sir,
what?
in list duplicates are allowed. Set and duplicate not allowed.
Where you want your application requirement to store the duplicates. Is the application requirement to store the duplicates? You can go for list classes. Because if the application requirement is like to store the duplicates, then go for the list classes. What about set classes? If application requirement to store the unique values. Yes, if application requirement is to store the unique values, then you can go for the. Tell me, guys, we can go with what set classes, right?
Yes.
Different with the list classes, guys. See here, I clearly written list classes allows the duplicate objects. If the application requirement to store the duplicate objects, then use list implementation classes. Set classes duplicates are not allowed. If the application requirement is not to store the unique objects, then go for the set implementation classes, right? Unique object means what? A set implementation classes, right? Exactly. Guys, list implementation classes, how many total?
Unique object means unique values, sir.
Without duplicates. Without duplicates, right? Unique objects means.
Sir, collection is the interface, list is also interface, set is also interface, or these 3 are classes?
See, this is a hierarchy written here, right?
Okay.
List is the parent is a collection parent is iterable.
Okay.
List contains the implementation classes. Array list, linked list, vector, and stack. These 4 classes we have. These are implementing from list interface. List is from the collection is from the iterable.
And iterable is from object?
Iterable is interface, na?
Okay.
Iterable is interface, collection is interface. This is like list is also interface.
Okay.
These 3 are interfaces. That's what I written the extends keyword here. Extends. It's fine because interface we need extends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are implementation classes, right? Exactly. Is it clear now?
Yes. So you please write extend keyword. You have removed that. It will be easier to understand. Easier to understand.
When you see this interface means that you have to know we have to use extends. I don't need to write that point, right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. It's not like you are not kids, right? To understand why the extends, right? See, class and interface means we need to understand, we need to implement. Interface means extends. Class and the class also extends. That you need to understand immediately. Good.
Okay.
Good, good. These are list implementation classes, guys. Because list versus set is clear, right? List versus set means what? List is used to store the list is the application requirement to store what? This is like Spring application, Spring Jdbc here. Today morning I took the Spring class, no, some other batch, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Sir, when you are teaching, I told I want to study Spring from you.
Very good.
So when this started, how many
Spring
how many,
DAO test class,
how many classes, sir, over Spring?
1 week.
Okay, sir, I want to attend. 5 o'clock is the session.
8 o'clock also you have the session.
5 a.m.
Uh,
Sir, please, email me those. I want to study actually details so that I can pay the fees and start learning from.
Guys, can you hear me? Guys, can please create one project? Alok, I think you have my number, right? Just you can send hi in WhatsApp.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Not 5, 8 a.m. in the class. 8 a.m. class is the Spring. 8 a.m.
Sir, actually 8 a.m. I have different classes also. 5 is fine for me.
No, 5 is already in the mid of the class. That is also that is also even that US project. That is a project for the US company. So other people are not allowed in that class.
Oh, sir, I want to study that 5 a.m. batch.
No, 5 a.m. batch not possible because that is a US batch and that even company batch, that is
Okay, sir.
company people. So we will not teach like topic by topic. We will go for the
Okay.
project orientation. directly.
Advanced, okay, advanced projects, real project based implementation.
So directly we will start the project and we will teach the topics. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like what is a collection, what is a class, what is interface. It's
Okay.
not like that, right? That's what
But this 8 a.m. will start at what time?
8 a.m. our regular class.
From
Like
when? From when Spring will start?
1 week back.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, sir.
Collection framework example, just you can see, click on the finish, click on the finish. Yes, let me create one project here. So here I'm created project here. Once the project is ready, src folder is there. Right click here, src. Right click on src, guys. Right click on src, click on new. I want to create the class. I want to create the class. So here package name we need to give because package means folder structure, right? Yeah. So folder structure, guys, com.tcs.list classes I want to give com.tcs.list. So under the list folder, com folder is created, tcs folder, list folder is created. Under the list folder, this examples will be stored, right? Exactly. This is like array list, basic example. Basic example. Just click on the main method. Just click on the finish, right? Let me create the array list, guys. It's basic example. First example, right? Guys, collection framework representing the group of objects as a single entity, right? Group of objects as a single entity, guys. And moreover, array list is list implementation class. List means duplicates allowed or not allowed? Guys,
Sir,
list means duplicates allowed or not allowed?
allowed, sir.
Duplicates are allowed, and even this is, see guys, I'm creating array list object. Array list obj is equal new array list, right? Obj is dot add of 10. 10 is there, Ratan is there, again 10 I'm adding, null 10.5. It means what? 10 is duplicate, right? So list classes duplicates allowed here. Number 1 pointer. Number 2 pointer, list allows null values. Every collection class allows null values. Yeah, it's not a problem. Every collection class allows what? Null value. And list inserts not is preserved. Ordered collection, guys. List is a ordered collection. List is a ordered collection means what? In which order we insert the data, same order will get the output. Guys, list is what? Ordered or unordered? List is ordered collection. List is ordered collection is what? In which order we inserted? Yeah, since ordered collection, guys. List is ordered collections which you store the data in which format. Okay, list is ordered collection. Which order we insert the same order we got the output, right? Guys, in which order we inserted, same order we got the output. Just if we click on the list, guys, we got some information API documentation, guys. See guys here, an ordered collection. See this message, guys. Always try to see the API documentations. Yeah, that is very going to help you in the application, even if you forgot the things, right? Sir, no, definitely you'll forget the things, right? Even if you forget the things, you'll understand that. Go and check the API documentation, right? See, guys, I copied data from here. An ordered collection, also known as a sequence, right? Yeah. So list class are what? Ordered collection, right? Guys, yes or no? List is a ordered collection, guys. All list implementation classes, ordered collections here. Let me write this point, an ordered collection. So insert not is preserved. Insert not in ordered collection, guys. Input is what? E1, E2, E3. Output is also E1, E2, E3. Ordered collection, right? In which order we inserted, same order we get output, right? Guys, ordered collection means in which order we inserted, same order we got output. Next one is what? Insert unordered means what? Input is like, this is like ordered here. This is like unordered, right? Exactly. In which order we insert the output, input, same order output is there. There is ordered. This one is what? Unordered, right? Ordered, unordered. Yeah. List is ordered collection, unordered collection. List is ordered collection, right? In which order we inserted, same order we got the output. Duplicate objects are allowed or not? Definitely duplicate objects allowed here. Ordered collection. Characteristics of the collection framework, guys. Collection framework classes. One is list classes means duplicates are allowed. Duplicate objects are allowed or not allowed. And ordered collections are unordered. Ordered collections are what? Unordered, right? Yeah. Some classes are ordered collections, guys. Some classes are unordered collections. Okay. Null insertion is possible for every class. Methods are synchronized, non-synchronized. Methods are synchronized, non-synchronized means, remember the point, guys. Synchronized means how many threads can access? Only one thread is allowed to access. Non-synchronized means what? Multiple threads are allowed to access. Okay, synchronized methods means what? At a time, only one thread is allowed to access that method. Multi-threading level, we have the synchronization concept. Yeah? Only one thread is allowed to access that method. Non-synchronized means what? Multiple threads are allowed to. Non-synchronized method means what? Non-synchronized method means multiple threads can access, right? Exactly. Guys, in this case, 1.0 version methods, class methods are by default synchronized. 1.0 version methods are by default synchronized. Remaining all are what? Non-synchronized. Guys, remaining all are what? Synchronized, non-synchronized. Remaining all are non-synchronized, right? Exactly. So last point is the data structure, guys. What is the data structure means? See, based on the data structure only. See, guys, ArrayList is a class container. Guys, ArrayList is a class container. See, guys, an ArrayList is like ordered collection, right? Guys, yes or no? The user of this interface has precise control over where the list each element is inserted, right? Yes or no? Yeah. So unlike sets, guys, list typically allows the duplicate elements. List typically allow duplicate elements, right? Yes or no? More formally, list is typically allows the pairs of E1, E2, such as E1 dot equals. Yeah, such that E1 dot equals multiple elements null is allowed, right? Typically, they allow null elements. Yes or no? Typically, it allows what? Null elements are not. Exactly. Because like that, it allows the multiple data, yeah, multiple values, right? Exactly. So we understood that. So list is like, ordered collection. List is ordered collection. List duplicates are allowed where you have the application requirement to store the duplicates. You can go for list classes. All classes are null values are allowed. Methods are synchronized, non-synchronized means first example we're discussing ArrayList. ArrayList methods are and ArrayList is introduced which version, guys? 1.2 version. Guys, only 1.0 version methods are, guys, only 1 point. Guys, you try to analyze these points. You don't buy hard the point just like Amirpet students. Always they'll buy hard. But you need to analyze
1.0 means
1.0 means starting version. JDK 1.0. JDK 1.
so basically all now.
No. 1.0 version class are very less, right? See, collection framework is introduced which version?
1.2.
Collection framework is 1.2, but vector class is stat class. These are introduced 1.0 version.
Oh, okay. Only these two are 1.0.
These methods are synchronized methods. Vector methods are synchronized. Vector methods and stack methods are what is synchronized. Maybe you have the question like, sir, you said collection framework is 1.2 version. How the vector is introduced 1.0 version, right?
Mhm.
Yes, actually, collection is from definitely 1.2 version, but vector is there from which version? 1.0 version itself. Actually, vector is there from 1.0 version, guys, but later that class is retrofitted to the collection framework. See this API documentation is clearly gives explanation. See, read this message, Alok. Read this message. Alok, can you hear me? Read
Yes,
this
sir,
message.
yes, correct.
Array read
From which line? As of Java 2
Hmm.
platform, only version 1.2, this class was retrofitted to implement a list interface, making it as a member of Java collection framework. Basically, this was introduced to the Java collection framework.
Hmm.
Like the new collection implementation, vector is synchronized. If a thread safe implementation is not needed, it is recommended to use ArrayList in place of vector.
Yeah. The ADC implementation not needed, then you use a ArrayList in place of vector, right? It's clearly saying that vector is from 1.0 version, but collections are 1.2 version. That's why it's retrofitted to the collection framework. It's retrofitted to the list interface, making it is a member of collection framework, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, vector methods are synchronized, non-synchronized. Vector is
Vector,
synchronized, right?
only one thread will work.
Vector is a synchronized method. If the thread safe implementation is not needed, actually synchronized means thread safety. Thread safety is there. If thread safe implementation is not needed, it is recommended to use what? Guys, thread safety implementation needed, use the vector. If the thread safe implementation is not needed, use what?
ArrayList.
ArrayList,
Yes.
ArrayList in place of vector, right?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. And that's the points I copied from API documentation itself, guys. And ArrayList underlying data structure is what? Resizable array implementation of list interface, right? Resizable array implementation, guys. Basically, ArrayList linked list is a glass containers to store the like group of suites. Assume like group of suites, right? Yeah, ArrayList and linked list is the ArrayList linked list vector stack is a glass containers here to store the group of suites. Tell me, guys, we order in all glass containers, we will order the sweets in the same format or different format?
So same.
Mm, we will arrange the sweets in different formats, right? Depends on the sweet type.
Yeah, if any guests come in our house, we will randomly distribute the sweets in plate.
Okay, fine. Not in the randomly. Okay, fine. But in the shops also, we have the sweets. We have like square shaped sweets are there, na? What you can say?
Kaju katli,
Um,
and
those kind
gulab
of
jamun.
sweets they'll arrange some different format, right? And we have a laddu is there. Laddu they have there is no ordering, right? They'll pour like normal way, right? Yes or no? So like glass container is like to store the group of object. Array list is like to store the group. Array list is a glass container, guys. In the glass container, how the sweets are arranged based on what this implementation class. Okay, so this is like array list is what? Resizable array implementation. Resizable array implementation means what? In array list the data will be stored in which format? Resizable array format, right? Yes or no? In array list the data will be stored in which format? Resizable array format or not?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So we understood that array list is a glass container. In the glass container, how the sweets are arranged, depends on what the data structure, right? That depends on the underlying data structure, right? It's like array list underlying data structure is what and resizable array, right? Exactly. I think with my explanation, guys, you guys please tell me the points about the array list class. Array list class. Don't
Array
say
list. Okay, I would like to start. Firstly, duplicates are allowed.
array list don't say 1.0 version, that 1.2 version. In our API classes, the first point is array list 1.2 version. A very bad thing. The first one is what, guys? Array list. If anyone is asking define array list means array
Class.
list allows what? Duplicates. Because this is implementation, list implementation class, right? Array list allows the duplicates. Tell me. Array list is what?
Insertion order is maintained and nulls are allowed.
Insertion order, that is our terminology here. But the application terminology, array list is like ordered collection, right?
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Which one is a better statement here? Ordered collection is better or insertion order is better?
Yes, sir. Order collection is better. But remembering, I just added like
Yeah, fine, no problem.
insertion.
No problem. Guys, insertion order is present means ordered collection, right? It's an ordered collection. Which order we inserted, same order we got the output, right? See, in paid classes, they will tell you like which order we inserted, same order will get the output. In the real time, we are saying the word like an ordered collection, right?
Sir, implemented data structure and global array.
It's
So
a,
array list is an unsynchronized.
exactly. It's unsynchronized, non-synchronized. Okay. Non-synchronized method, guys. Methods are non-synchronized. Its methods are non-synchronized because this is from 1.2 version, right? Exactly. And null is always allowed. Null is allowed always, no problem. What one more point is implementation class, resizable array implementation, right? Guys, resizable array implementation, right? Exactly. I think 5 points are clear.
Its method is a
Yes, sir.
non-synchronized. Multiple threads can work, and thread safety is not there. This also has to be
There is
done.
no thread safety. Thread safety means only one thread is allowed to access.
Mhm.
That's what previously I shown in API documentation, right? In vector
Mhm.
data. It's
Yeah, so
saying
we can
that
add
if
this
the-
point. We can add this point in explanation. Multiple threads are allowed, and multiple threads allowed, and thread safety is
that is
not
a
there.
multi-threading, right? You need to know the multi-threading concept. Here we are not discussing multi-threading, right? That is the point. Guys, duplicate objects allowed or not allowed? First one is the duplicates objects allowed or not allowed? Ordered collections, null insertions, methods, and underlined data structure. Every collection of class contains these are the characteristics here. Any questions, please?
No, sir.
Any questions, please?
Here we can enter. We can say na multiple threads are allowed, and thread safety is not there. Correct?
Juno, right? Utanda. Just you can check that, okay? Message. Juno is there?
एक मिनट आ रहा
Yes, sir. Can you hear
Juno,
me?
can you hear me? Yeah. I sent you the number.
Yes.
Just you can send hi in WhatsApp, okay? So that we will see.
Okay, thank you very much.
What is linked list? Chandan Baraj. Yeah, collection is a huge modifications are there, guys. So we will see slowly, but you got the points, very, very important points, right? What are the things I'm teaching? It's not like in a page style, right? Guys, how was my teaching style regarding collection framework teaching?
Sir,
We
good.
see the,
Very good.
we are seeing like API documentation to understand this point, right? In general, API classes,
Very structured, sir.
very structured, exactly. In API class, they're right. They listen. They remember the 5 points. They'll tell you the 5 points. You remember. You have to by heart the 5 points, right? Not 5 points. They'll tell you the 7, 8 points. Right? Very dangerous. Yes, characteristics are clear, right? ArrayList is a duplicate objects allowed. ArrayList is ordered collection. Ordered collection, and the null insertion allowed. Methods are non-synchronized. Resizable array, right? Exactly. This is ArrayList data, guys. Guys, then come back to the example. In ArrayList, I'm inserting the duplicates allowed. Insert not is preserved. You simply can run this code. When you run this code, we got the output like 10 Ratan 10. In which order same order collection, right? Same order we got the output, right? Null insertion is possible, right? Exactly. Okay, see, one point we need to understand here. The collections can store only object data. Because collections can store only what type of data? Object data. But 10 is object data, primitive data. Guys, 10 is object data, primitive data. Primitive, right? But collections allows only what type of data? Object data, right? Guys, this 10 is a primitive data int type. That integer type is automatically converted into the wrapper object format. That is called integer format. Guys, that is called what? Integer format, right? Exactly. That is called what? Autoboxing concept. Every collection class implemented using autoboxing here. See, we are adding the 10, but internally we stored in which format? Integer object format. Here we are adding 10.5. 10 point is a normal primitive value, double value. But internally it will store like which format? A double wrapper class format, right? Yes or no? Even if we are adding the character. So, but char primitive type is not allowed. It will store the data in which format, guys? Object format, right? Character object format it will store. Guys, this concept is called which concept? Guys, this concept is called which concept? Auto boxing. Right? Exactly. Every collection class internal implemented using auto boxing concept, guys. In above example, we are adding the primitive data, but it is automatically converted into the wrapper object format. Is called guys. Is called what?
Autoboxing.
Auto boxing, right? That is very important point. And even this auto boxing concept introduced in 1.25 version. Guys, auto boxing introduced in what? Introduced in
1.5 version.
Java 5th version, right? Exactly. Is it clear now? Auto boxing introduced in what?
Autoboxing means
Auto boxing means automatic conversion. Here we are adding the 10 is a primitive value now. 10 is a primitive value. But collections can store only object data. Collections cannot store the primitive data. That's what, even if you add the primitive data is automatically converted into the object format. Which object? Wrapper object. That concept is called auto boxing. In Java, we have data types. What are data types, guys? Byte. Tell me what are data types in Java? Byte, short,
int, long, float, double,
char, and boolean. Right? These are
Sir,
the
is there any acronym to remember all these in one go? Is there acronym shortcut to remember all these in one flow?
Acronym. Don't think always acronym just like kids. You need to analyze the flow. Flow in the sense byte is 1 byte, short is 2 bytes, int long.
int 4, long 8, float 2, double 4.
Sir, but after long, 8 float is 4, na? So size is reduced. So you are saying see the flow.
Float 2 only, no.
Allows decimals, right? So that's the reason again different one.
This is numeric data, byte short int long. This is one order. Float and double is a decimal
Float
data.
and double decimal.
Character and boolean is a different data.
Oh.
Type is important.
Sorry guys, can you let teach? Some guys are making noise like kids. Seriously, can you let teach?
Which one?
I'm saying some guys are making too much noise unnecessarily. Can they let you teach, please? We're here, we're not kids.
Okay. But it happens basically. They'll try to ask some questions, keep on. Yeah, guys, this is byte short int long to represent the numeric data. Float and double is there. Char and boolean is there, right? Char and boolean, guys. Guys, corresponding the byte, the wrapper class is a capital byte. Short means short is a wrapper class. Int means what? Integer is a wrapper class. Long means long is a wrapper class. Capital letter, guys. Float means float is a wrapper class. Double is a wrapper class. Character is a wrapper class. Character is a wrapper class. And boolean is a wrapper class, right? Exactly. So this is a numeric data, guys. Primitive data, but collection doesn't allow the primitive data, but the primitive data is automatically converted into which format, guys? Guys, this primitive data is automatically converted into which format? Wrapper object format, right? The concept is called what?
and autoboxing.
That concept is called what? Auto boxing, right? Every collection class introduces an auto boxing concept, guys. That auto boxing introduces 1.5 version. Okay, but up to 1.4 version, what we need to do, if you want to add that, okay, 100.5, we need to create the object like this: double dot value of or integer dot value of. Someone is listening some other class, please. NagoorBabu. Please mute.
And Q proxy. So kubelet is the component which will speak.
Yeah, good. Okay, see, up to 1.4 version, there is no auto boxing, right? There is no auto boxing means what, guys? ArrayList, if you want to add the 100.5, we need to create the object like this: double dot value of method we need to use, right? Integer dot value of method we need to use. From 1.5 version, auto boxing concept is there. Simply we can add 100.5, that is automatically added into the ArrayList object, right? 200 we can add directly. The statements and the statements are clear. Up to 1.4 version, how we are adding 1.5 version.
What is the use of dot value of operator?
Yes, are you clear, right? Good. Guys, there is a 1.4 version. Hey, I'm clearly saying that 1.4 version, there is no auto boxing. If you want to add the 100.5, we need to create the object like this. Okay, this is like concept of wrapper classes. I think you don't know previous knowledge. So you don't ask like those kind of questions here.
Okay.
You need to understand this is object creation line. That's it.
Okay.
This is object creation. We are passing the data, but here with object creation directly are passing. Directly we are passing. Directly are passing means this is automatically converted into this object format only. That concept is called which concept? Auto boxing concept. Right? That's the point. Guys, the statement is clear. Every collection framework is implemented using which concept, guys? Here, auto boxing concept, right? So guess value of method of available Java 5th version. Exactly. Which belongs to upper classes. Yeah. Value of method to create the object. Balu. Ram sir. My name is Ratan. Ratan and Ram both me only. You're international star. Ratan sir is international star. Yes. Good guys. Guys, come to this example. So here we got like we got the issue, right? We got the output, right? So we got the output like at least basic example, guys. But see, generally in AmIRPay classes they write the code like this. But tell me, guys, in real time we need to store the group of objects, right? Guys, we need to store what? We need to store the group of objects, right? Because we need to store the group of objects like customer objects, product object, book objects, right? Guys, can I take one example to work with objects? This is normal 10, 20, 30, 40. We understood this example, right, everyone? Guys, everyone's understood this example or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you understood this example, can you make like
Yes, sir.
example with the Balu, you are correct. Up to 1.4 version, we have the constructor to create a wrapper object. From 1.5 version onwards, we have the value of method. So now with the constructor approach is deprecated. Value of method also not required because auto boxing, right? Primitive we are adding, primitive is automatically converted into the object format. That is called auto boxing concept. Okay. Every collection class implemented auto boxing. The second example, I want to store the group of employees and the group of students in the array list, right? Guys, array list group of employees and the group of objects I want to store, right? Exactly. Guys, group of employees and group of students I want to add. Just click on new. First, let me take the employee class. Just take the employee class. Just click on the finish. This employee class contains what the properties. Just take the int employee ID, right? Int employee ID. Tell me int employee ID, string employee name, right? Yeah. Can I initialize data using constructor? Here, can please generate the constructor, guys. To generate the constructor, right click source. Source generate constructor using fields. Generate constructor using fields. Click on OK. Here constructor is automatically generated. So we don't need to write the constructor, right? Yes or no? EID in the name is there, right? Exactly. CID and what E name is there, right? The same way, can please take the which class? Some student class. So now here you can make the student class, student ID, roll number. A student roll number, into roll number you can take. Next one is what? String name of the student you can take. Yes, here also during object creation I want to initialize the data. To initialize data, constructor, right? Source generate constructor using fields. Click on OK. Then constructor is generated. I hope everyone knows this stub, right? This code, right? Constructor to initialize the data. Constructor to initialize the data.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No means you can check the previous classes. Huh? Yeah. See guys, this is like employee class is ready and employee class ready, student class is ready. Then come to the array list example 2. Array list basic example 2. Basic example 2. So here, let me insert objects here. To insert the objects, let me go for the objs.add method, right? To add the data. Yes, now I'm inserting the objects now. Okay. So objs.add method I'm calling here by passing student object and what employee object. Yes, here new employee. Yes, new. See guys, always don't write the complete line. I want employee object means what? New em control space. Control space, click on enter. Automatically it will shows expecting the argument employee ID, expecting the argument is what? Employee name, right? Like this, we need to write the code, right? Objs data add off. Add off what? New student object I want to add. New student object, roll number. Roll number 101. So name is what? I think Lipika is there today. Lipika. No, Lipika today. Okay, fine.
You can add Deepika.
Deepika. Why your favorite heroine, Deepika?
Yes, sir. Currently in demand, Gehraiya movie.
Deepika. Deepika Padukone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Deepika.
Okay. Good. So here just you can add the null values also. It's fine, guys. Because I want to read the data. See, but previously we have the normal primitive data. Like this is normal integer wrapper object, right? That's what when I'm printing the OBJs, directly objects are printing. It's not a problem. But here we have the normal primitive data. We have the object data. Yes, here we have the employee objects and student objects, right? When you print the OBJs, guys, if you run this code, we got the objects like this. com.tcs.list, com.tcs.list is a package name, right? This is the class name @hash code. Because we got the data now, we got the object reference. Guys, we got the data, we got the object reference.
Object reference.
Object reference, right? Then tell me, guys, I want the data. Anyone tell me? If I want data means how can I get?
ToString.
We need to override the toString. That is one point. Okay, even if you override the toString, we need to let me take the for each loop now. Because for each loop syntax is what? Colon is there. Right hand side, I want to print objects, right? But OBJS contains one type of data, different types of data.
Different type of data.
Yes, OBJS contains one type of data, different types of data. Right? That's what, guys. Because OBJS contains employee data, student data, null values, right? In that case, to store the data, guys, can I take the object class now? Object O is there. Guys, can I take the object class now? Yeah, because object class can hold employee data, student data, null data, right? Yes or no? Yeah,
Yes.
it can hold employee data, student data, and what? Null values, right? And
Yes, sir.
simply can check the if condition. If O is internally contains employee, can please execute the piece of code. Guys, if O is instance of what? Employee. If O is instance of employee, guys, OBJS contains the different types of objects. I'm holding that object using here object class, right? If O is the instance of employee means execute this piece of code. O2, you need to typecast which format, guys, here? Employee format, employee E, right? Exactly. Guys, this out control space E dot what? EID, some space plus E dot what? E name, right? Exactly. This is the first object. Second object is what, guys? If O is instance of O is instance of what? Student, right? If O is instance of student, then O2, we need to typecast which format, guys, here? Student format, right? Student format. Then you can take which object now? Student object, right? Student. Okay, that's it. Just see, guys, at OBJS contains multiple objects. Which object it is holding, the corresponding code will be executed, right? The student, let me print the data. The sys out control space. Yeah, student dot what? Student dot roll number plus some space plus a student dot what? Name, right? Exactly. Well, basically here object contains different objects. We need to process like this. At last, null value. Don't use null value means instance of, guys, you'll get null pointer exception. If you have the null value means simply you can use the double equal to operator. O double equal to null, simply you can print that null value. Printing O, that's it. Is it clear now? See, if ArrayList contains the different objects, guys, this is a process we need to do. If you're able to understand, okay, not able to understand, ignore it, because in the real time we will not use this process. Okay, good. Guys, see, ArrayList contains the different types of objects. OBJ is like, different objects are there. I'm holding that using object class, right? If O is instance of employee means typecast employee class, student means what? Student class, null means what? Equal to null, right? Exactly. Guys, see, now if you run this code, we got the output. First case normal hash codes. Next one, we got output 111 Ratan, 111 Ratan, 101 Deepika, right? And null value, right? Exactly. But tell me, guys, if ArrayList is holding like collections are holding heterogeneous data, guys, collections are used to hold the homogeneous data, heterogeneous data. Collections are heterogeneous data. If it is storing heterogeneous data, assume like I inserted 10 objects. Then how many times I need to do this for loop here? How many times? I'm type checking and typecasting, we need to do 10 times, right?
10 times.
Good. And one more point, guys. OBJs.get method is there to get the specific value. For each loop to get all the values, right? But index get method to get the specific index. Because here I want to get the first index. What is the first index here? Student, right? Because these are 0 index, this is the first index, right? Guys, what is the first index value?
Student.
Student, right? Here we know that is a student. That's what we are typecasting student class, right? We know that student. That's what we are typecasting to student class. We are holding like student as object, right? Exactly. Guys, see, generally in the classes, the faculties will do the code like this. At least at that time, we need to understand the faculty here. One object means you are doing okay, fine. Get off one means I know that here student object. But an application point of view, if you 100 elements are there, yes, application point of view, if 100 elements are there, then what happened? 100 elements are there. Get off 66th element. Do you know 66th position which element is there? Guys, do you know like 66th position which element is there? No, right? That is a problem or not again? So that is a point, guys. So if we run this code anyhow, as of now we're getting output is the data Deepika and 101 we got, right? Student is the Deepika. It's fine, guys. See, guys, here we need to do the typecasting process, right? Every time, because here we need to do the typecasting or not.
Yes, sir.
Because the reason like collections are not type safe. It's a very, very, very important point. Collections are type safe or not type safe. Collections are what? Not type safe. Guys, arrays are type safe because integer array can hold only what type of data? Guys, arrays are type safe. Integer array can store only what type of data?
Integer.
Exactly. Yes, store the group of objects, arrays, homogeneous. Homogeneous means what? Type safety is there, right? Collections storing the heterogeneous data. Heterogeneous means what? Different types of object. Do you have any type safety here? Store the
No.
group of objects, right? There is no type safety. What is the type safety? I'll tell you. I'll write one more point. Guys, the difference between the arrays and collections. Guys, before the collections, to represent a group of elements, we are using arrays only. Because before collections, to store the group of objects, arrays only. But arrays are storing only what type of data? Homogeneous. Collections are heterogeneous. Arrays are fixed in size. It means once if we create the array, it is not possible to increase and decrease the sizes, right? It is not possible to increase and decrease the sizes. But collections are what? Growable in nature. Size automatically increased and decrease, right? Yeah, memory wise it is good, right? Exactly. Guys, arrays are supporting any methods? In arrays, we don't have methods, right? Guys, arrays, do you have any methods? No. Arrays, there is no methods means what? Operations becomes complex, right? But collection supports methods. Collection supports methods means operations are easy. Collections.
Array class.
Sorry?
Sir, array is utility class, no? So
arrays is a utility class is there, but arrays is different.
Oh,
Arrays is a concept is there. Arrays concept generally. Arrays is a utility class which is there in the util package. That is a different that I'll tell you.
okay.
Don't compare that arrays class and this arrays topic. Okay. One is the topic, one is the class. Okay. Arrays are there is no methods. I'm talking about this is a topic, not arrays class. Okay. Arrays there is no methods. Arrays no methods means what? Operations becomes complex, right? Exactly. Guys, arrays can store primitive data and what? Object data. Guys, arrays can store the primitive integer array can hold only integer values. Employee array can store employee values, right? But collections can store only what type of data, guys? Guys, collections can store only what type of data? Object data. No? Collections can store only object data, guys. So we understood that before collections to store the data, what we are using, guys? Arrays only. What the difference between arrays and collections means? If anyone is asking that question in interview, simply can say arrays are type safe. It can store only one type of data, and size wise fixed size. We cannot increase and decrease sizes, and the methods are not there. Operations becomes complex. Only these 3 points are enough. Don't say fourth point. Storing the primitive data, non-object data. That is fine. Okay, that structure we need to understand. Collections means what, guys? Collections are heterogeneous data. Collections are global in nature. Collection supports methods. Guys, see, mainly I can conclude only 2 points, guys. Arrays are like, guys, arrays like, arrays like, supports like methods, guys. Operations become easy. Arrays like, fixed in size. Guys, arrays are fixed. What the problem with arrays means arrays are fixed in size. Arrays are, there is no methods. Advantage of collections like, collections are global in nature and supports like, methods. That's only point you need to decide. Yes, I'm correct, right? Don't say like, multiple differences here, paragraph differences. Better to say some basic important point. No? Good. So finally we understood that arrays are type safe or not type safe, guys. Definitely arrays are type safe. If you want to see the point, arrays are type safe. Arrays are type safe, because if we take the integer array a equal to just like 10 to integer array can hold only what type of value? Integer value. Can I write the for each loop to read the data? Right hand side is a, left hand side is a is what type of data? Integer type. Integer x. So we are passing our a values into which variable? Your a values into which variable? X variable, right? Exactly. A values and x variable, control space, I'm printing x, right? That's it. Yes, sir. This is integer type, na? Directly I can hold it. Right? This is arrays are type safe or not? There is no type conversion, nothing is required. 10, 20, 30, 40. But here we understood that collections are type safe or not type safe?
Not type safe.
Collections are what?
Not type safe.
Type safe. Collections are not type safe, guys. If collections are not type safe, we have the collections are not type safe, then we have the issues, right? What are the issues that we have? We have typecasting and type conversion issue, right?
Yes, sir.
Typecasting issues, guys. In that case, we need to provide the type safety to the collections or not?
Yes, sir.
Because we need to provide what? Type safety to the collection, right? Because to provide the type safety to the collections, we are using the beautiful concept like, generics. Exactly. Because without generics, there is no collections basically. There is no use of the collections. Without generic, there is no use of the collections. That's what. Provide the type safety to the collections. Gives like provides type safe to the to the collection using what? Using which concept, guys? Here generics, right? That's it. Guys, provide the type safety to the collection using what? Generics concept, right? Using generics concept, guys. What you will do with generics means, see guys, right, while creating ArrayList itself, check the syntax here. Here clearly I'm specifying this is a generic syntax, guys. This is a generic ArrayList with employee, right? ArrayList with employee. ArrayList and employee emps equal to new ArrayList of, guys, new ArrayList of what? Emp, right? That's it. Here clearly we are saying that My ArrayList can store only what type of data? Okay, this is API documentation. ArrayList can store only what type of data?
What type?
Employee type, right? Exactly. So here we are clearly mentioned that my ArrayList can store only what type of data means employee data, right? Yeah, ArrayList can store only what type of data means employee data, right? Yeah, that's what, guys. Let me add some employee objects here. Employees dot add method, right? Guys, tell me the for each loop now. For colon, right hand side is EMPS. Left hand side EMPS contains one type of data, different types of data.
No, sir.
EMPS contains one type of data, different type of data.
Different. One type.
One type of
One
data.
type.
Directly can I make the EMP type right here? Guys, in that case, directly we can call e dot what? EID. Directly can call e dot EID plus what? E dot ename, right? Any typecasting and type conversions required here?
No, sir.
No.
No, right? Even EMPS dot get method I can call. EMPS dot get method if we call get of first element, get of first element also employee, get of 33 location also employee, get of 99 location also employee only, right? Yes or no? In that case, typecasting required or not required? Typecasting is what? Not required, right? Guys, because these are the collections are what? We are providing type safety here. Once we make the type safety, first location employee, 96th location employee, 66th location also employee, right? Then typecasting required, not required?
Not required.
It means the advantage of the generics are what? Type safety issues here. We'll write to eliminate the type safety issues, right? E dot EID, E dot ename. Yes, you got the clarity, right? If you run this code, simply we will get the output. This is array data. This is like normal, what? Normal for each loop. This is like generics. Guys, now you tell me the data. Collections with generics are powerful or without generics are powerful?
With the generics.
With generics are powerful.
See, without generics, guys, even if you write the code here, we got the bulb symbols, right? These are the warnings basically. In Eclipse side, if you write AmirPaid code, AmirPaid class nodes, any code, mostly you'll get the errors only, warnings only. That code is not recommended, right? Guys, that code is what recommended, not recommended? That code is not recommended, right? Is it clear? We got the the like warning symbols, right? Warnings are not recommended, guys. That's what collections with generics are recommended, right? Guys, collections with generics are recommended, right? Guys, now tell me, arrays are storing what type of data? Homogeneous, heterogeneous?
Homogeneous.
Exactly. Collections are storing heterogeneous, right? That's what we are moving to collections, right?
Yes.
But tell me, guys, collections with the generics are better, without generics are good? You are saying that
With
With the
generics.
generics are good.
with the generics are good means collections with the generics can store. Please mute, yeah. Abhishek, from your end only you get the disturbance. Yeah. Guys, tell me, collections with the generics better means? With the generics better means? Generics can store only what type of data? Homogeneous data, right?
Homogeneous.
Then arrays are already there to store the homogeneous data, na? Arrays are already to store the homogeneous data, and collections generic version also to store the homogeneous data only.
Right.
Yes.
But it's dynamic, the size can increase.
But why the collections are recommended means collections are flexible with respect to the, you said, dynamic nature and with respect to the memory nature, right?
Yes.
Guys, collections are flexible with respect to what? With respect to the
Array.
Dynamic nature.
Yeah, with respect to what? With respect to the memory and with respect to size, right? Exactly,
Yes.
guys. Guys, you got the point, right? That is very, very, very important. Guys, collections are type safe or not type safe?
Not type safe.
How can we provide the type safe to the collections?
By
using what?
using generics.
Generics. Generics can store what type of data? Homogeneous, heterogeneous?
Homogeneous.
So homogeneous. Then why the array is already stored there to homogeneous. Why the collection generic version?
Memory and size increases.
Collections are flexible with respect to the memory and what? With respect to the size, like with respect to memory and with respect to operations. Don't say size, guys. Collections are flexible with respect to memory and operations, right? Operations in the sense methods.
Okay.
Homogeneous means one type of data, Chandan. Homogeneous means one type of data. Homogeneous data. ArrayList can store only 10, 20, 30 integer type, right? This is called homogeneous. Same type of data. What, Chandan? If you're asking homogeneous data means you don't know anything about the core Java, basics of Java. Yeah, that is the point. Guys, see, generics are introduced in 1.5 version. So previously we understood autoboxing, right? When the autoboxings are introduced, guys, when the autoboxing is introduced,
1.5.
generics also introduced which version? 1.5 version, right? Guys, tell me, imagine the collection framework without autoboxing, without generics. Any use?
Useless.
Guys, without generics, without autoboxing. Without a generics, without autoboxings is any use. That's what, guys, collections introduced in 1.2 version, guys, but collections becomes more popular from 1.5 version. Guys, Java 1.5 version is a powerful version, guys. Tiger version it is. It makes industry everyone is look to what? Java, because of Java 5th version, guys. Up to Java 5th version, .NET is very famous. .NET is very famous here. Other languages are very famous. Java is okay. Java is okay. From Java 5th version onwards, Java becomes more popular in the market because of powerful features in the. See, guys, even here, this example, this for each loop I'm using, right? This is a short form of for loop. Yes, for each loop is what? Short form of the for loop, right? This is there from which version? 1.5 only. For each loop is 1.5 only. These generics are 1.5 only. And this auto boxing like 1.5 only. Here only we are seeing like these are powerful feature, right? For each loop is good. Generics are good. Auto boxing is good. Exactly. Guys, you got the clarity, right?
Yes, sir.
Collections are type safe or not type safe?
Not type.
How can we provide the type safe to the collection space?
Using
By
generic.
using generics.
By using generics, right? List is ordered collection, unordered collection. List data.
Sir, ordered.
Ordered.
Guys, that is we understood the point, right? Good. Guys, you try to run this example, try to see the output. Basic example. The students are asking this type of bad questions, basically stupid questions. They're asking sir, ArrayList is there. By taking input from end user, enter first number, enter second number, enter third number as a string. After taking the number, I'm storing that number into the ArrayList, right? In the real time, we will store by taking the data from end user here. In the real time, we have the data is coming from the form pages, or data coming from the services and all different concepts. But okay, fine. Guys, taking the different values from end user stored into ArrayList. Guys, to take the data from end user, we are using ArrayList scanner class. Scanner class is there, and ArrayList object is there. ArrayList object is there. After that, enter first number. Whatever the number I'm reading here, scan at next enter. The directly I'm adding into what? OBJS, right? Yes or no? Like that, guys. Very basic example. You can check that example once. And taking 5 integers means what? Use the for each loop, right? Use the for loop. 1 to 5 means what? Scan at next enter. Enter first value, enter second value, enter third value, enter fourth value, enter fifth value. Guys, are you able to run this code, right?
Yes.
You can run this code and check the output. Basic operations and ArrayList, guys. See here, add method, add the data. Size is method to find out the. You want me to write the? Guys, they'll discuss this example half an hour in normal paid classes. Add method used to add the data. We know that add method is used to add the data only, right? Then why again that statement? Guys, you need that statement. Add method is used to add the data. Guys, please respond. Add method is used to add the data. Anyhow, add method is used to add the data only, right? Size method to find out the size of the array list. Array size method to find out size only. If you are unable to understand that line, first of all, you are not eligible for the programmer, right? A size method to find out the size of the array. If you are writing that point means you are not eligible for the programmer, developer, right? Definitely. Guys, this is add method. Add 3 comma anu. It means third position can please add anu, right? Guys, third position can please add anu, right? Exactly. Guys, remove of 2. Remove of 2 means what? Remove the second object, right? Remove of Ratan means what? Remove the Ratan, right? Exactly. Guys, this add method, remove method, this is very dangerous method regarding array list. Guys, array list underlying data such as what? Resizable array, right? Yeah. Guys, here I'll tell you one important, very important point here. Assume like I have the elements 10, 20, array list contains. Array list underlying data structure is resizable array. Resizable array means the data stored in array format. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, that array format I'm storing the data. Okay, exactly. Guys, in the third position, I'm adding the anu. Third position means which position, guys? 0, 1, 2, 3 for this position. This position I'm adding anu. Then what happened, guys? This position already object is there, right? 40. Then 40, what happened? Shifted to next location, right? Yes, shifted to next location or not?
Yes.
50, but for 40 shift next location, 50 shifted next location, 60 shifted next location. Assume like we have the 1000 elements. Out of 1000 elements, second location I inserted the new element. Then what happened here? How many locations has to shifted now? Tell me. Second become third, third become fourth, fourth become fifth, fifth become sixth. Then how many shifting operations required? Guys, how many shifting operation means we need the more and more shifting operations, right?
Yes, sir.
Guys,
Yes,
we need more and more what? Shifting operations or not?
Yes, sir. Shifting operator.
Exactly. We need the more and more shifting operations, right? That's what, guys. Our frequent operation is inserting the data in the array list. Our frequent operation is inserting the data. The array list is recommended choice or not recommended choice? So array list is not recommended choice, guys. Our frequent operations like inserting the data in the middle, like which is not recommended process. Array list is not sortable, right? That's one thing we need to understand. And even remove also. Remove of second position. If I remove this one, guys, then what happened here? Third become second, right? Fourth become third, right? Fifth become fourth, right? Sixth become fifth, right? All element has to done like left shift, right?
Yes.
That's what, guys. Our frequent operations are adding the data or removing the data in the middle, like adding the data and removing the data. Then this array list is recommended choice or worst choice.
Worst choice.
You understood the point, right? Because here that location already elements are there, then it has to shift it to the next location, right? Every time it is moving to the shifted next location means what? Definitely we got the issue, right? This is or no? That is a point,
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
Remove. Good. Set means replacement, guys. In the first replacement is not doing any shift operations, right? Replacement is not shifting the elements, right? Because first location already element is there. In that location, you can replace with Rani. This is a replace operation, guys. Next one is empty. Is empty to check the data is empty or not. Definitely some elements are there. It is not empty. Clear method removes all the data, right? Clear method removes all the data. After clearing everything, now it is empty collection, right? As I want to check before writing the data, I need to check is empty or not. Before writing the new data, guys, from application point of view, before writing the new data, we need to check first of all is empty or not. Previously, any data is stored. If it is not empty, first clear that, then we can add the new data, right? Yes or no? If it is not empty, just you can hold the data and we need to clear the data and we need to add the data, right? Guys, I think we got the output information in this example, right? For your satisfaction, I written these points here. Add method will add the data by default last position. Add of 2 means what? This method will add the data at second index. Size method to find out the size of the array list. Remove method to remove the objects of Ratan. Remove of 2. Yes, one point. Remove method, if you're giving the data, means that object is removed. Remove method, if you are passing integer value, here int value by default taking as index format. Okay. Guys, int value by default taking as which format, guys? Guys, integer format.
Int value.
By default taking as index format, right? Guys, remove method, if you are passing the number. Remove method, if you are passing the number, by default that is taken as a index format. Is it clear now? Because if you want inside the data, remove the data frequently, then at least is not recommended because it will take more and more shift operations, right? Exactly. Guys, this statement is clear. Note is clear. Array list is not recommended when we have the more and shift operations, right? Exactly. Guys, these are the points now. Guys, tomorrow I will take the class at same timing, 8 to 11 only. If possible, just you can join the class. And Monday we have the 10 o'clock new advanced Java batch. If anyone is looking for the advanced Java, you can take the link from the DurgaSoft and like durgasoft.com website, or you can call to office. And Monday 10 a.m. we have the advanced Java new batch.
Can you please share the code?
DurgaSoft, just you need to check the website. In website, you'll get durgasoft.com. In there you can find the link. Okay. Okay, there's one thing. Is it clear now? Good. And yeah, that is a one thing, right? Exactly. Hey guys, that is a point you need to check. And even you can find my videos in YouTube, guys. Just you can type like in YouTube Java by Ratan. Just you can type the Java by Ratan. I will teach like complete in and out, guys. Core, advanced, Spring Boot, microservices, web services, everything from Java. In YouTube.com, just you can type my name. You'll get the complete videos about like complete videos of about me. Yeah, here you can type. Yeah. So Java by Ratan. So Java by Ratan, you'll get the videos, multiple videos here. Get these DurgaSoft data. And here, okay, this is my own channel, guys. Ratan ID is there. Okay. So here you can find the collection, Spring data and all. This is my photo. These are all the videos, guys. Just you can try to check it. Hemachandra, you can check this here. Okay. Is it clear now? Yeah, that's a point, guys. Guys, up to now, what the points we done, just you can see this observation, small observation, guys. If you want inside the remove the data frequently, if you want inside the data remove the data frequently, then array list is not recommended, right? Because it will take the more shift operations, right? Yes, if you want inside the remove the data frequently, if you want yes, if you want remove the data and what if you want remove the data and remove the data inside the data frequently, then array list is not recommended because it will take the more shift operations. And one more small observation below. See guys, if I'm adding the 10.5 Ratan, I'm doing like Ratan, right? Ratan is removed, but remove of 10. Remove of 10 means what? Remove method, if you are passing the 10, by default is taken which format, guys?
Index format.
Index format, right? But the 10th index data is not present, right? If 10th index data is not present, we'll get the index out of bounds exception, right? Guys, we got the message what? Index out of bounds exception or not? Index out of bounds exception, right? Exactly. Guys, this is one point you need to remember. And the collection versus collections, guys. Today, first point I said collection versus collection, right? For that point, let me give one thing here. Collection is a root interface to the collection framework. Whereas collections is a class, it contains some methods to perform some operations, right? Perform some operations. See, guys, array list, I want objects like 10 times Ratan. Guys, inside the array list, I want to add the Ratan 10 times. Then what you guys will do? Maybe if you want to add the data 10 times means, maybe we'll write the code for loop, right? I equal 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, right? But writing the for loop is not at all recommended in real time. So array list, I want to add the array list of string, array list to objects. Objects equal to what? New array list of string you can make. But I want how many Ratans here total? 10 Ratans I want. If you want 10 Ratan elements, then this argument, guys, like constructor. To this constructor, simply let me pass collections class. Collections class contains the collection of collections. Collections, right? Collections is a class, right? This class contains one method. The method is called nCopies method.
Collections.
nCopies. Collections class contains one method like nCopies. Number of times 10. O means what? Object. Ratan object I want, right? Exactly. Yes, it's out control space OBJS you can print it. Yes, if you print these objects and this code, we got the Ratan how many times here total? 10 times, right? Exactly. Guys, that is called what? nCopies method, right? Guys, nCopies are clear. Collections dot what? Collections dot nCopies 10 comma Ratan, right? So nCopies means to add the same data multiple times, guys. It's fine. Guys, now this is a swapping the data. So swap method is there. Collection class only contains one more method like swap method. Okay, this example we discussed two methods of collection class. One is the nCopies method, one is the swap method. So 1 2 3 means what, guys? Ratan becomes 1 2 3 means these are indexes here. Indexes means what? These are 0 1. Anu becomes Ravya, Ravya becomes Anu, right? Guys, Anu becomes Ravya, Ravya becomes what? Anu, right? Yeah, see guys, Anu plays Ravya, Ravya plays Anu. Swap, right? Exactly. Is it clear now? The data is swapped or not? Data before swapping and data after swapping, right? Guys, the statement is clear. Data before swapping and what? After swapping, right? That is the information, guys. This is a collection data, right? This is like collection data, guys. Good. Good. Guys, can let me write some entry questions about this, because anyhow, so collection framework, collection framework, right? Yeah, guys, first question one. Tell me about the question one, guys. Simply I can say define the collection. Define the collection. Guys, what is the collection, guys? Tell me. Collection provides very good architecture. The main object of collection framework to represent a group of objects as a single entity. Otherwise, it provides a very good architecture to store and manipulate the group of objects, right? The main object of collection framework provides the represent a group of objects single entity. Any one definition you can tell. Okay, fine. But all three definitions are same. Don't think like different definitions, right? Yeah, collection contains a group of class and interfaces. It makes easier to handle the group of objects. Let's define the collection means representing the group of objects as single entity that easily manipulate that objects and handling the objects, right? Easily manipulate the objects and handle object, right? Exactly. What are the types of collections? What are the types of collections? How many types of collections here? What are the types of collections means what? There are two types, right? What are two types? One is the list. One is the collection.
List and map.
No. Collection and map. One is what? Collection. Second one is what? Map. There are two types of collection framework, guys. There are how many parts of collection framework, guys? Not types. How many parts of collection framework, right? How many parts of collection framework? I'm correct on this is correct, guys. There are two parts of collection framework. One is a collection part and map part, right? Map, right? Exactly. You tell me question number 3. With the question number 3. Parts of collection framework, right? Okay. What is the root interface of the collection? Yes, can please you tell me the questions here. Some questions you need to frame. You need to frame some questions here. How many parts of collection framework? There are two parts, right? What are the advantages of collection framework? This is like, define the collection or what are the advantages, right? Define the collection or advantages of the collection, right? Advantage of the collections.
Characteristics.
Good. Next point is what? Collections are type safe or not? What is the answer for this one, guys? Collection data is a type safe.
It is type safe, but with generic.
Collections data is collection data is type safe or not? This
Is not separate, but with the help of the generics we can.
Yeah, by default collections are type safe or not means no, right?
Yeah.
Collections are not type safe, simply. Collections are not type safe, right? Collections are not type safe, but we will provide the type safety. We will provide the type safety using which concept guys here? Using generics, right? I think this is correct, right? Collection data is type safe or not means collections are by default not type safe. Collections are not type safe. Collections are not type safe by default. But we will provide the type safety. We will provide the type safety using what? Using generics. Exactly.
Sir, collections is a class, right?
Define collection. No, collection. I can say collection. Okay, collection data. Collections are collection data. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Collection data type safe or not type data. Not type safe means collection are not type safe. Collection is not type safe. Collection is not type safe by default, but will provide the type safe to the collection using generics, right? Define the collection versus what?
Collections.
Tell me whether different with the collection versus collection. Collection is a root interface of the collection framework, whereas collections is a utility class which contains some methods to perform operations, right? Exactly. So what is the root interface of the collection framework? Collection, guys. What is the parent interface of the collection? Guys, what is the parent interface of what? Collection? Tell me, guys. The simple answer is what? Iterable, right? Exactly. Question number 6. What is the difference between what is the difference between what? Between list versus list and set, right? Tell me, guys, what is the different list and set?
In list, duplicates are allowed. In set, duplicates not allowed.
Instead of saying that, better we can change that word. If the application requirement is to store the duplicate objects, use a list, right? If the application requirement is to store the duplicates, then use the list. If the application requirement is to store the unique elements, then use the set, right? Exactly. This is question number 6. And question number 7. What the question number 7? Tell me. List implementation classes, ArrayList. Map is there. Okay. Root interface collection framework. What is the collection data present in which package? Collection framework related data. related data present in which package? What the package name, guys? Collection related data. Java data util package, right? Exactly. Question number 8. What is the difference between when to use arrays and when to use the collections? When to use arrays and collections? Tell me, guys, when to use arrays versus what? Collections. Tell me.
For homogeneous data, we can use arrays, and for heterogeneous
Simply, I
data, we
can say like arrays are homogeneous. Arrays are what? Homogeneous and arrays are homogeneous and
Fixed size.
Fixed size, right? Fixed size. Fixed size, right? Yes, arrays are homogeneous and fixed size and doesn't support the arrays are homogeneous, fixed size and doesn't support
operations.
And doesn't support the operations, right? Doesn't support methods. So operations are complex, right? Exactly. A single line I can make the complete data, right? Arrays are homogeneous and fixed size. Okay. Doesn't support the methods. So operations are complex, right? Exactly. Guys, with respect to the memory point of view, arrays are not recommended to use, guys, because arrays are fixed in size, right? Because if you specify the size, like if you specify like yes, arrays are homogeneous, fixed in size, but does not support arrays are homogeneous and fixed size and does not support methods, so operations becomes complex. Operations are complex, right? Exactly. Because arrays are performance wise very good here when compared to collections. Arrays are arrays are what? Arrays performance is good, right? Guys, arrays performance is what? Performance is good. What are collections, guys? Here, collections can store what type of data? Collections can store heterogeneous data, heterogeneous, growable in nature. Growable in nature means size automatically increase and decrease, right? Size automatically increased. Comma supports what?
support methods.
Supports methods, right? So operations are
Simple.
Operations are what? Easy, right?
Easy.
Exactly. Collections are recommended. Performance is good. Collection arrays are recommended to use with respect to performance, right? Arrays performance is good, guys. Collections performance is good. Collections memory is good. Memory good, right?
Memory is good.
Exactly. Memory wise arrays are good. Good. Guys, there's a point like 8.8%, guys. 9%. Tell me. Is it a collections can is it a collection can store? Is it collections can store primitive data? Guys, is it collection framework can store primitive data?
Object.
No, right?
Type on.
No. Collections can store. Collections can store only
Object web.
object data, right? Object data, right? Here's one point. Question number 10. What is autoboxing?
Conversion of primitive data type to
Automatic conversion. Automatic. That's what is important, right? We are not doing, right? It's automatically done. Automatic conversion of, guys, automatic means who is doing that process? Automatic conversion of what? Okay, primitive
data to
wrapper
wrapping
object,
wrapper
called autoboxing. Automatic conversion of primitive to wrapper object is called autoboxing, right? Exactly. Question number 11. What is the purpose of collect generics? What is the use of generics? Tell me, what is the use of the generics?
typecast.
Typesafe.
To provide the type safety to the
collection.
To overcome which problems, guys? Typecasting problem, right? To overcome typecasting. Guys, how was the questions?
Yeah, good.
Guys, questions. How was the questions? Please respond.
Good, sir.
Questions are good, sir.
Answer, sir? Not good, huh? Answers also good, right? To provide the type safety to the collection series in what the user generics means what? To provide a safety to the collection of to overcome typecasting problems. Guys, see in the real time in interview, you need to tell these kind of answers, right? One line statements, right? Don't select paragraph answers here, please. Question number 12. Some guys will ask to define array list. Tell me, guys, define array list means what you can say? Array list. What you can say?
They also duplicate added collection.
Array list is list
One of the
implement.
collection.
We can't say like that. Array list is the list implementation class. List implementation classes. It is ordered and allows the duplicates, right? It is ordered. Ordered and allows what?
Duplicates and null values.
Allows the duplicates common null values, right? Exactly.
And contains primitive data.
Array list is list implementation class. It is ordered. There's one line. That's it, right? It is ordered and allows the duplicates and null values, right? Allows the duplicate and null values. And one more point you need to add. Array list. Array list is what?
The non-synchronized.
Non-synchronizer type.
Homogeneous and has primitive data.
Why primitive data? Why homogeneous? Very two things are bad points only. What you are saying? What you are saying? Tell me once again.
No, nothing, sir. Sorry.
No. You tell. You tell me what you are saying. You have in mind some analysis, right? What is that analysis? Homogeneous means what?
Sir, only one type of data you said now.
Which one? Collections can store one type of data.
No, not about collections. Collections can store heterogeneous data, but arrays can store
What we are talking
data.
here, we are talking about array list, right?
Okay, sorry, sir.
Then array list means? Yes, we are talking about array list. No? We are talking about array list.
Yes, sir.
Array list. No. Yeah, what happened? You done not a big mistake, right here. Array list is list implementation class. It is ordered collections, allows duplicate null values, and array list is a thread safety. Array list is what? Single non-synchronized. Array list is non-synchronized, right? It is non-synchronized. Array list is non-synchronized. Array list is non-synchronized, right? And array list is what is implementation, guys? Yeah. Array list is the resizable list in array list implement. No, I can add this one is the first point itself. Array list is resizable array list. Let me check the API documentation. That point is there. We want to check which class, guys? Array list class, right? Array list class, we can see array list. Yeah. Yes, if you click on array list, guys, first statement you need to copy. I want to copy the first statement. Yeah, resizable array implementation of list interface. This is the correct statement, right? Yeah, resizable array implementation of list interface, right? List interface implementation class. Resizable array implementation of list interface. List interface what? Implementation class, right? Exactly. Array list, that is the first point, guys. Next one is what? Array list is what? Ordered and allows the duplicates and null values and methods are synchronized, right? Array list is non-synchronized, right? That is a correct point here. Good. Question number 13. Tell me guys what we understood up to now. Arrays versus collections. Definition of the collection framework, parts of the collection framework. What is the root interface of the map? Tell me guys what the root interface of the map? Immediately you are saying answer is collection, right?
Iterable.
Iterable, right? No. Iterable is also not belongs to map. That's what I'm saying. Collection is completely different. Map is completely different. What is the root interface of map? It
Collection.
Nothing.
No. Map only. For the map data, map only root interface. Iterable is only for the collection data.
Yeah.
List, set, queue is from the collection. Collection is from the iterable. This is separate task.
So the distinguishing this.
What is the root interface of the map? Means map only. Map is completely different. Map is not part of the collection. That's what I'm saying. Right? Guys, what is the root interface of the map is what? Root interface of map is map only. What is the root interface of the map is what? Map only, right? Exactly. Yes, what is the root interface of the map? Map only, right? Okay. What are the parts of the collection framework? Collection framework contains how many parts? Yes, how many parts of the collection framework? There are two parts, right? Collection framework contains the two things, guys. Collection and map.
Collection and map.
Collection framework contains the two parts. How many parts of collection framework? Collections framework is like two parts, collection and map. How many parts of collection?
3 parts.
List to set to
How many parts of collections? How many parts of collection means what, guys? There are three parts. Right? Exactly. There are like 3 parts, right? What are 3 parts? Tell me.
List, set, and
one is a list classes. Second one is what? List classes and set classes. Third one is what? Queue classes, right? Yeah, exactly. There are 3 parts, guys. List, set, and what? Queue. That's all, guys. Collection framework contains the 2 parts, but collection and map. But collection contains 3 parts: list, set, and queue, right? List,
yes,
set, and queue. Exactly. Yes, what is the difference between the collection and map? Question number 15. What is the difference? What is the difference between difference between the what is the difference between the collection and a map?
Map organizes as key and value, and a collection
Store the single object format, right?
Yeah.
Map is a type of a dictionary, like it consists of the key and value pair.
Dictionary map both are same here. Dictionary is a old data, map is a new data. Guys, use a map. Collection is used to store water. Collection is used to store the single object format. Collection used to store the data in which format? Collection used to store the data in which format? Single object format, right? What is map, guys? Map is used to store the data in which format?
key value pair.
Map is used to store the data object in the key value pair format, right? Exactly. Collection used to store the data in which form? Single object format. Map used to store the data, object in two objects format, guys, in the form of key value pairs, right? Two objects format means in the form of the key value pairs, guys. Exactly. That's fine. That's good. That's cool. Yeah. Topics covered: list versus set. We already make the example. And ordered collections. Set to implementation classes. Array list we done. And to check the API documentation, use this link here. What are the limitations of array list? Array list is not recommended choice when you're using frequent operations. what are the limitations of ArrayList?
Yeah.
Insert data
Insertion operation and insertion and removal operation.
middle.
Our frequent operation is inserting and our our frequent operation is what? Frequent operations
Like
are adding and removing middle of the array list, right? Middle of the array list. Middle of the array list. Our frequent operation is our frequent operations are adding and removing middle of the array list. Then it is not then it is not recommended choice, right? Then it is not recommended because the reason guys, it will take
Several.
the more shift operation, right? Shift operations, right? Exactly. The statement is correct, right? Yes, if I'm internet panel means I'll ask this kind of questions only. All are technical, right? Some questions are direct questions, some questions are bit.
Sir, going to use ArrayList, going to vector.
Sorry?
Sir, going to use ArrayList and going to use vector.
Okay, I'll tell you. Because we didn't start the vector, right? I'll tell you that point also. Okay, good. Guys, coming to the ArrayList, guys, ArrayList contains 3 constructors. Yes, ArrayList contains what? 3 constructors. One is ArrayList of what? Guys, do one thing, just can you please take 10 minutes break. After break, I'll take some session.
No problem.
I'll take some tea. Already 1.5 hours. Guys, everyone please mute and take the 10 minutes break. After 10 minutes, we'll start the class again. We will see, and we will write entry questions like this. We will see. And definitely this weekend is not sufficient, guys, to complete the collections. Today and tomorrow also I'll take the class. How much topic is completed, fine. Next weekend also I'll take the collections only. Next weekend also we can join the collections framework classes.
Okay, sir.
That's total 2 weeks I'll take this collection framework because I need to mix the collections. We done the arrays, collections, lambda expressions, method references, generics, multiple topics are there. That's what this week and next week also will focus on the collections only. Yeah, just take the 10 minutes break. Yeah, after break we'll meet.
Okay, sir.
Not audible your voice.
class is going on?
Yes, sir told take a break of 10 minutes.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Himanshu Mishra, collection complete framework, complete collections. Today, tomorrow, next 2 days also. Total 4 days I will teach you the collection framework. It's not like 1 hour class, 2 hours class, you need to complete everything. Use the same link and you can join tomorrow also, and you can join next week also. Yeah.
So this weekend and next weekend, sir. So
Yeah,
we'll complete collections. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Guys, ArrayList contains some constructors, guys. Let me check the API documentation to check the ArrayList constructors. ArrayList constructors, if you click on the ArrayList class here. So this is ArrayList. The below we can find these 3 constructors. See guys, construct an empty list with initial capacity is how much? Guys, ArrayList of capacity is how much by default? The default capacity is 10, right? Exactly. Because the default capacity of ArrayList is 10. Once it reaches max capacity, when you're trying to insert the 11th element, guys, the capacity automatically increases, right? The capacity becomes the like new capacity equal to old capacity star 3. Old capacity star 3 by 2 plus 1. This is like calculating the new capacity, guys. Old capacity is star 3 by 2 plus 1, right? Old capacity is 10. 10 star 3, 30. 30 by 2, 30 by 2, 15. 15 plus 1, 16, right? That will become new capacity. Yeah. No, sir, I want my own capacity. So if you want your own capacity, simply can specify the data like this, right? So array list of int initial capacity. Guys, array list of int initial capacity. So now your array list is created, the capacity is how much here? 20, right? Because your array list is created, the capacity is how much now? 20 or not? That is a point. Array list with your own capacity, right? Exactly. Third one is what? Adding one collection data into another collection, guys. Construct a list containing the elements of the specified collection. Containing the elements of the specified collection, right? Adding one collection data into what? Guys, adding one collection data into what? Another collection, right? Exactly. Guys, adding one collection data into what? Another collection, right? Yeah, total 3 constructors that we have. Default constructor, initial capacity constructor, adding one collection data into another collection, right? Okay, fine. Because basically we can add there are 2 ways to add one collection data into another collection, guys. Because how many ways? There are 2 ways. There are 2 ways to add one collection data into what? Another collection, right? There are 2 ways to add one collection data into what? Another collection, guys. If there are 2 ways to add one collection data into another collection, one is a constructor approach, second is using add all method, right? Guys, one is a constructor approach, second one is what? Add all method, right? Exactly. You see this constructor approach, array list A1 is there, new array list. I'm passing this A1 object into what? A2 constructor, right? Guys, something like A1 object into what? A1 object data into the A2, right? Yes, sir. No, A1 objects into what? A2, right? Exactly. Because to the A2 constructor, this is A2 constructor, right? To this constructor, what I'm passing simply here, A1 object, right? Yes, sir. No. Then A2 contains how many elements then total? Guys, total A2 contains how many elements?
4, sir.
A2 contains how many elements means total 4 elements, right? Exactly. Yes, if you want, just you can run this code. Now A2 contains total how many objects means 4 objects, right? Ratan, Anu, Rani, and Usman, right? Exactly. Those are 4 elements, guys, basically. And second approach is add all. What the meaning of add all means? OBJS1 is there, OBJS2 is there. 2 objects we have. Actually, my requirement is like OBJS contains the 2 objects, OBJS2 contains the 2 objects, right? Yes, OBJS1 contains 2 objects, OBJS2 contains the 2 objects, right? Exactly. 2 objects and 2 objects, guys. OBJS1 contains the 2 objects, OBJS2 contains the 2 objects, right? Okay. Then what is my requirement is I have OBJS3. I want to add this OBJS1 and OBJS2 to the OBJS3. Then how? Guys, constructor approach means here we can pass either OBJS1 or OBJS2, right? Objects 1 or objects 2, right? But what is my requirement here? I want to add OBJS1 and OBJS2, both objects into the OBJS3, right? Then how? Guys, then how it will be? There's a question. Guys, can you hear me? Guys, to do this approach, guys, to add the many collections into another collection, we need to use like add all method, guys. OBJS3 dot add all. Add method is used to add the one object, right? Add all method to add the collection data, guys. OBJS1, and next one is what? OBJS2, right? That's it. Guys, objects 3 dot add all of OBJS1, OBJS2, right? Exactly. Guys, this is our control space. OBJS3 I'm printing, right? Guys, the difference between the add and add all method. Add is used to add the only one object, right? Guys, add is used to add the one object format. What about add all? Add all is used to add the one object format or multiple objects format. Multiple objects format, right? Guys, add is used to add the one object format. Add all is used to add the multiple objects format, right? Guys, the statement is clear. Yeah, there's a difference between the add versus what add all approach here. This is one example for that. There are two ways to add the one collection data into one collection data and collection, guys. One is a constructor approach. Constructor approach means what? A1 is added into A2, that's it. Many to one means what? B1, B2 is added into what? B3, right? Yes, B1, B2 is added into what? B3, right? Exactly. Next one is the contains and contains all here. Yes, contains to check one object is present or not present. Guys, contains to check one object is present or not present. Contains all to check the collection data, right? Yes, A2 contains E1 object or not? Check the code once. Guys, is that A2 contains E1 object or not? Guys, please respond. A2 contains E1 object or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Guys, A2 contains E1 object or not?
Yes.
Yes, right. A2 contains all of E1 objects.
Yes.
There is a point, right? Contains all. True, right? Exactly. I removed E1 object, guys. From A2, I removed E1 object. If I removed E1 object, A2 contains E1 object or not now? Guys, is it A2 contains E1 object or not?
No, sir.
No, right? And A2 contains all of A1 objects, sir? Yes, A2 contains all of A1 objects or not?
No, sir.
No, right? Because out of no. A2 contains all of A1 objects means no, right? Because from A1, one object is removed, right? From A1, one object is removed now. That's why it returns a false only. So first two lines it returns a true, guys. Next two lines this returns what? False, right? Yeah. So contains means what? Checking the one object, guys. Contains all to check one object or multiple objects. Contains all to check the collection data, right? To check the collection data, guys. And even remove all. Remove also same process, guys. Remove means to remove how many objects? Guys, remove means to remove how many objects? One object, right? Remove all means what? The collection data is removed, right? A2 dot remove all of A1 objects. It means like from A2, all A1 objects are removed, right? Guys, remove all means what? All all A1 objects are removed, right? Exactly. Guys, what is the retain all here? Retain all means what? All A2 objects are removed, guys. Remove all means all A1 objects are removed. Retain all means all A2 objects are removed, right? Guys, all A2 objects are removed or not? Exactly. That is called remove all and retain. Guys, remove all means A1 objects are removed. Retain all means what? A2 objects are removed, right? Yeah, that's called removal versus what? Retain all, right? Good. And guys, I hope you know difference between vector and array list. What is difference between vector and array list? Array list methods are what? Synchronized, non-synchronized.
Synchronized.
Array list methods are non-synchronized. Array list methods are non-synchronized. More than one thread can access at a time. So thread
Okay.
safe or not thread safe means not thread safe. Vector methods are what? Synchronized, right? And I clearly written the point here. If thread safe implementation is needed, use the vector. If the thread safe implementation is not needed, then use array list, right? If thread safe implementations are not needed, use array list, right? Exactly. Read this message, guys. Previously I copied from API documentation here. Actually, vector is from 1.0 version. Then it is retrofitted to the implementation. Retrofitted to what implement the list interface, right? Making it is a member of the Java collection framework. Unlike the new collection implementations, right? Vector is synchronized. It is a thread safe. If it is thread safe, if the thread safe implementation is not needed, it is recommended to use what? Array list in place of vector, right? Thread safe implementation is not needed, use the array list in place of vector. Yeah. Yes, array list contains how many constructors? Yes, array list contains how many constructors?
3 constructors.
3 constructors, right? Vector class contains 4 constructors there. Yes, vector contains how many constructors? Vector example 1. Vector example 1. Just click on the main method, just click on the finish, right? Okay, fine. Yes, vector contains 4 constructors. Let me check the constructors means API documentation here. Constructor means API documentation, you can say java.util is a vector class, right? Which contains the 4 constructors basically. Okay, this is also global array of objects. Global array of objects, right? Okay, fine. Capacity, yeah, these are constructors, guys. Total 4 constructors. Construct a empty vector. It size how much, guys, by default? By default size how much here? 10, right? Exactly. Guys, vector of collection means what? Adding one collection data into another collection, right? Adding one collection data into another collection. Third construct is initial capacity. So here, once it reaches max capacity, then what happened? Once it reaches max capacity, the capacity becomes double. Yes, in vector, once it reaches max capacity, the capacity becomes how much? Guys, once it reaches max capacity, the max capacity become
Double, sir.
Yeah, so by default double, right? Capacity becomes what?
Double.
It's like double data, right? Exactly. Guys, it's like, double data is there, double data, right? Yeah, the capacity becomes double, guys. Let me write the 4 constructors for example, one example. Let me make all the points, guys. Okay, see here, to find out the capacity, we have the capacity method. Guys, objects.capacity is there. Guys, default capacity is how much here? 10, right? So we got the output is 10. Guys, look at the output is what? 10, right? 10 is a capacity. No, sir, I don't want this capacity 10. I want to make the collection with my own capacity. Then I'll make the capacity is 3. Yes, I'll make the capacity is 3, but I'm trying to insert how many elements now? Guys, initially capacity this line how much? 3, right? We didn't insert any value. But now I'm inserting how many values now?
4.
4, right? If I'm inserting the 4 elements, then what happened here? Yes, if I'm inserting the 4 elements, then what happened means? If I'm inserting 4 elements,
capacity doubles, right?
Capacity doubles, right? It means 3 becomes how much now? 3 becomes 6, right? 6. Exactly. Guys, see, initial capacity is 3, then it becomes 6, right? Yes or no? Capacity, because there is a second constructor, guys. Initial capacity constructor. Sir, you're saying like the capacity becomes double, 3 becomes 6, but I don't want to make it is double. I want to make it is my own increment value. If you want to make it as your own increment value, here you specified. But the initial capacity, how much now? Guys, initial capacity is how much? Initial capacity is 2. Once it reaches its max capacity,
will increment to 6.
It's incremented by 2, right? Yes or no? Yeah, this case was all good now. This case, like, the initial capacity is a 2. Now here it will become how much here? Here it will become 8, right? Exactly. Guys, simply can run this code. We got the 2 and 8, right? As previously 3 becomes 6. Now 2 becomes what? 8, right? Yes, 2 becomes what? 2 becomes 8 or not? That is a point here. Good. As first constructor, default constructor, making the capacity is 10 by default. Second constructor, initial capacity constructor. Third constructor, like, third constructor is what? Third constructor, like, your own initial capacity is like, 6. 2 is initial capacity. 6 is increment value, right? How much you want to increment, right? Exactly. Yes, the last one is adding one collection data into another collection. Yes, simply using adding one collection data into what? Another collection, right? Exactly. Guys, I have my ArrayList data. Simply, my ArrayList data is there. I'm adding this ArrayList data into what? Link vector, right? Vector v equal new vector. To this vector constructor, I'm passing simply AL object, right? Guys, vector constructor, what I'm passing here? AL object I'm passing or not? Exactly. Guys, are it clear now? They are the 4 constructors, guys. Vector contains these 4 constructors, right? So what is the difference between vector and ArrayList is what? The difference between vector and ArrayList is thread safe implementations and non-thread safe implementation, right? Because vector contains how many 4 constructors? One is the default constructor, capacity is 10, initial capacity constructor 3, initial capacity and initial increment value. How much increment value you need? And the 4th one is what? Adding one collection data into what? Another collection, right? Exactly. Guys, ArrayList versus vector is clear, everyone? ArrayList versus vector is good. Yes, please respond. ArrayList versus vector, good? Good. Guys, I said like arrays or performance is good, right? And collections performance wise bit Shaker, yeah, increment value given 6, right? Yeah, every time it is increment by 6 only, not becomes doubled every time. Once it reaches max capacity, it reaches to the 6. Every time incremented by 6. After reaching 8, it will become 8 plus 6, na? 8 plus 6 means 14. Yeah, 8 plus 6 means 14. If you want, you can try to add some more elements. You try to see the output. You try to see the output, guys. Because vector arrays or performance is good. Arrays or performance is good. Why the collections performance bit low means the reason, like, initially vector 10 is there, size 10. I add in 10 elements are there. Assume like 10 objects I inserted. Once if I reaches the max capacity, then new memory space will be created with new capacity. That actually 10 size. When I'm trying to insert the 11th element, then what happened here? Size becomes double, right? When the size becomes double means 10 becomes how much here? 20, right? The existing memory is not increased here. That is very, very important. Guys, existing memory is not increased. The statement is clear. Is that existing memory increased or not increased? Existing memory is not increased, right? Exactly. Guys, existing memory is not increased, guys. With the 20 new memory is created, the old data is copied to new memory. Yes, sir. No. Once we create the vector size 10, once it reaches max capacity, then the new vector memory space, new vector is created with the new vector memory space is created with new capacity. After that, the old data is copied to new memory. The old data is garbage collected. Okay, this old data is copied to new one, guys. The old memory is what? Garbage collected, right? Then tell me, guys, In that case, copying it will take some time or not. Assume like I have the 500 elements, 500 objects. Out of 500 objects, yes, yes or no? Once it reaches max capacity, the new capacity becomes what? The new capacity becomes what? Yes, yes or no? The new capacity becomes how much here? Now the new capacity becomes double, right?
Double.
Sorry. Yeah. It means what happened, guys, here? This data is copied to the new data, right? This data copied to new. The old data is what? The old data is garbage collector, right? Exactly. Yes, that's what every time when the capacity is incremented, then what happened here? It is copying the data, right? It's copying the data, guys. That's what, like, performance wise, the collections are bit low. This is the reason, guys, because every time it has to copy the data, right? Guys, every time it has to copy the data or not? Guys, are it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, guys, in this case, like, there is a array list versus vector, you got the clutter, right? Yes, then linked list. Yes, linked list contains constructors, like, two constructors. Linked list default constructor, linked list one, one linked list with one collection data construct, right? Is it clear now? Yeah. Guys, coming to the linked list, guys, linked list contains total how many constructors? Two constructors, right? Guys, the difference between the array list and linked list, the linked list, the data will be stored in which format? Double linked list format. Yes, the linked list data is stored in which format? Double linked list format, right? Exactly. If the linked list data is stored in double linked list format, guys, it means in the linked list, the data will be stored in which format? Double linked list, right? Exactly. Yes, can you please check this example? All the methods once.
So what is meant by double linked list? Double list.
Hey, can you hear me? This example is clear, huh? So add first is add date at first location, add last to add the date at last location. Remove first is there, remove last is there, is empty is there. These are the basic points, right? Guys, everyone is clear about that example, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, next one, if we take the difference between ArrayList versus vector. Yeah. ArrayList underlying data structure is what? ArrayList underlying data structure is like,
A researchable array.
Resizable array, right? Resizable array format. So that the data will be stored in which format?
Objects.
Like, array format, right?
Array format,
in array format, right? Exactly. Because the data will be stored in like array format. But when coming to this one, like, yeah, linked list. Linked list, the data stored in which format? Resizable, like double linked list format, right? Guys, linked list, the data will be stored in which format?
Double linked list.
Double linked list format, right? Exactly. Guys, that's what here. Double linked list format. Yeah, internal. First, read the first point, guys. ArrayList is internally using what? Under resizable array data structure. So to show the elements. So the data stored in array format, guys, and here the data is stored in what? Double linked list format, right? The first one. When we are inserting when we are doing insertion, guys, removal operation. Yes, insertion and removal operation ArrayList is recommended, not recommended choice. Is insertion and removal operation ArrayList is recommended choice, not recommended,
sir.
because it requires more shift operations, right?
Yes, sir.
Whereas linked list is recommended, guys, because linked list the data is stored in links format, right? Guys, in linked list the data is stored in which format? Link format, right? If you remove one link, like, insertion of data in the middle, just like adjusting, like, one link is sufficient, right? Guys, adjusting what? Adjusting, like, one data, like, adjusting one link is sufficient, right? Exactly. Yes, sir. No, adjusting, like, one link is sufficient, right? Yeah, but if you are doing the modifications on what? ArrayList means require the more shift operations, right? More and more shift operations required, guys. That is ArrayList versus what? Tell me, ArrayList versus linked list, right? So finally we decided, like, guys, give me a second. You guys can hear me. So ArrayList and linked list, guys, just you can see the diagrammatic form. Otherwise, once ArrayList versus what? Linked list, right? ArrayList versus linked list. Let me take some image here. Image format. If you take the image format, ArrayList versus linked list. Yeah. Okay, this is like, link links format. Yeah, see this one here, better diagram. Yeah, see this code here. So ArrayList is stored in like which format? 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So 30, 17, 42, and 28, something like ArrayList. The linked list means what? Java linked list presentation, guys. We stored links are does, right? Once if just removal of one link is sufficient to add and remove the data, right? Yeah, just removal of what one link is enough to add and what update the data, right? Exactly. That's what, guys. ArrayList is linked list is recommended, or frequent operation is what adding or removing the data, right? Exactly. Search operation ArrayList is not good, guys, because search operations ArrayList is not good. It is index based, right? Guys, search operations ArrayList is not good because it is index based. Sorry, ArrayList
Is it not good?
No, it's good. It's good actually. Search operation ArrayList is good because
Okay.
index based, right?
Okay.
Get of 6 means what?
7th element we can write.
Guys, like search operation ArrayList is good, guys, because ArrayList is working with index based format, right? Exactly. And element retrieval is faster because element retrieval is faster, right? Because get of 66 element means what? Directly I can get the get of 66 means what? Directly I can get the 66th element, right? Yeah. However, see guys, ArrayList take the O of 0 of 1 because of time complexity, guys. O of n, right? But linked list what? O of n. It travels through every element, right? Guys, it travels through every element. Retrieve any location where linked list 0 of n time to retrieve the element, right? However, unlike arrays which allows the random access, the element is conveying them. A linked list only allows the sequential access to its elements, right? Guys. Then what a point, guys, here. So searching operation wise, which one is better, guys?
ArrayList.
Yes, clear, right? With respect to memory, guys, with respect to memory, which one is good? With respect to memory, which one is good, guys? ArrayList is good, right?
ArrayList.
Because ArrayList it can store only data, right? Guys, ArrayList can store only data, right? Exactly. Like when you pass to retrieval data, how can you use the place we need to pass to retrieval? See which data you want, just you can get the data, right? Guys, 1 second, please. Yes, can you hear me? So here such operations wise ArrayList is not recommended, guys. Such operations ArrayList is recommended. Linked list is not recommended because it has to sequential search, right? You go for the allows the sequence access to elements here. Coming to the fourth point here, with respect to memory, ArrayList is good. With respect to memory, ArrayList is good. The reason, like ArrayList can store only data. What about linked list? Linked list, it will store the data and it will store link addresses also, right? Yes, it will store the data and what? It will store the data and next link addresses also. That what happened guys here? For the data, it is taking some memory storage. And see guys, head node is there, data node is there, next node index is there, like this. So it will store the node data. See guys, this is iteration one, first node. First node, this is next node index basically. Next node is there, next node is there, like this. Right? So in that case, iteration one, iteration two, iteration three, like that nodes will be added, right? In that case, what it node address has to be stored and node data will be also stored, right? Yes, address part is there, element is there, address is there, element is there, address is there, element is there, address is there, right? Exactly. Because in that case, it will take yes, it will take what? It will take what? Memory wastage, right? Because address has to be stored, right? That's the fourth point, guys. With respect to memory, ArrayList is good because with respect to memory, ArrayList is good because it stores only data. Linked list is not good, guys, because it will store the data and address on both, right? Exactly. Fifth point is what, guys? ArrayList is implementing random access interface. Guys, basically it's a mark interface. ArrayList is implementing what? Random access interface. ArrayList is implementing random access mark interface. Hence, data access becomes faster. And the linked list is not implementing random access interface, guys. Hence, the data access becomes slow, right? Yeah. So if you see the ArrayList, guys, the ArrayList is internally implementing the random access interface. Random access interface is there. Let me go for the classes. ArrayList class, if you check in ArrayList class, which contains yeah, check the data, guys. Class ArrayList is there, which is implementing which interface? Implementing list interface and random access interface, right? Exactly. Yes, if you click on this random access interface, what? Mark interface, guys. Mark interface used by list implementation class, list implementations, list implementation, right? Indicate that support fast, right? Fast random access, guys. Guys, is a mark interface used by list implementations to indicate that they support fast random access, right? Guys, fast random access, right? The primary purpose is interface allowed to the generic algorithm to behavior of the good performance applied when random and what sequence access are based, right? Exactly. So finally, ArrayList is implementing random access interface, and random access is a mark interface providing fast random access of data, right? Exactly. That's one thing. And if you go for linked list, if you click linked list, you can see this one, guys. This is implementation, right? Public class linked list, abstract sequential linked list. It is implementing any random access interface here? Guys, is it implementing any random access interface? No, right? It means what? Data access becomes what? Guys, data access becomes what? Slow, right? Exactly. Guys, these are the 5 points regarding ArrayList versus what? Linked list, right? One is like underlying data structure. One is like insertion and removal process. One is search operations wise. One is with respect to memory wise. Second is what? Data access, right? Data accessing wise. Is it clear now? Good. And this today class, guys, we done with the complete list classes. The complete list classes, right? Yeah. Last one is a stack, guys. Stack support just push and pop operation, guys, which contains only one constructor, default constructor. The stack class representing last in first out. Last in LIFO, right? Few follows the first in first out, guys, but stack follows the last in first out, right? Guys, stack follows what? Last in. Guys, stack follows last in first out, right? Exactly. So push means what? Insert the data. Pop means remove the data. Search means what? Searching for the narration, right? Searching for the narration. Narration element is there now. Okay, good. And peek means what? Returns the top element of the stack. Empty to check is empty or not. Clear means what? Remove the data. So again is empty, right? Exactly. They see when you take the data like Ratan, Anu, Naresh, Travia, Yeah, Ratan, Anu, Naresh, Xavier. Which one is, see, Ratan is first value, second, third. But this is first in first order, last in first order, last in first order, right? Naresh inserted last means that is removed first. That's what we can give the index from here onwards, right? Search of Naresh means what? You'll get the Naresh is 1, right? Guys, search of Naresh means what? See, Ratan, Anu, Naresh and Stravia is there. Pop means what happened here? Top element Naresh, Stravia is deleted. Now it contains only 3 elements, Ratan, Anu, Naresh. In that case, search of Naresh means what? Naresh is not becomes 3, right? Naresh is not a third element, guys. Naresh becomes what? A first element, right? Because which element we deleted first, that will become the first occurrence, first value, right? Guys, which element you are going to delete, that will make it as a first element, right? Which element you are going to delete, you can make that is the first element, right? Exactly. Is it clear now? That is information, guys. That is information, right? Good. As you try to check these points, and let me make some interview questions about these topics, what we done up to now. Because after the break, how many ways we can add one collection data and another collection? After the break, how many ways to add one collection data into another, right? Guys, how many ways are there? Guys, how many ways to add one collection data another collection? There are two ways, right? What are the 2 ways, guys? Here there are 2 ways.
Add all method and
One
second
is like one is like constructor approach. Constructor based. Constructor approach. Constructor based, yeah, constructor approach or constructor based is not a problem. Yeah, one is a constructor approach, second one is what? Add all method, right? Add all method, right? Exactly. Yeah, constructor approach means what? It is adding 1 to 1, right? Yes, sir. 1 to 1. It means what? A1 is data is added into what? 1 to 1. 1 to 1, right? Something like, A1 data is added into A2, right? That's it. A2. What about add all method, guys? Is 1 to 1 or many to 1? Many to 1. Many to 1, right? Many to 1 means what? Many to 1 means what? A1 comma A2 data is added into what? A3, right? Exactly. The statements are clear. There's a constructor approach and what? Add all, right? Exactly. Question number 18. Go to the question number 18, guys. Question number 18. Contains method returns. Okay, fine. Constructor approach. Contains versus contains all. Remove versus remove all. That's fine, right? I don't need to make the questions for that. ArrayList versus vector, guys. Yes, ArrayList versus vector means. Yes, ArrayList versus vector. When to use ArrayList versus define ArrayList versus ArrayList versus what? Vector, right? Yeah. Can you please define this one? Yeah? When the thread safe implementation is not needed, like if thread safe implementation is needed, use the vector, guys. If thread safe implementation is not needed, use the ArrayList, right? Exactly. One is a thread safety, one is non-thread safe, right? Exactly. It's a vector versus what? ArrayList, right? Yeah. Question number 19. Question number 19. Vector methods are synchronized. Fine. We done the 4 constructors, right? I shown 4 constructors, right? Yeah. Come to the linked list, guys. What is the difference between linked list and ArrayList? Linked list versus ArrayList. ArrayList versus vector. This is ArrayList versus vector. This is ArrayList versus linked list, right? Tell me, guys. Our frequent operations are like searching operations and searching wise, which one is recommended, guys? ArrayList is recommended, right? Searching wise, ArrayList is recommended. Yes, our operations are like our operations are adding the data at last, number one, and adding data at last, and searching, right, and data accessing. Yes, adding the data at last means any shift operations required?
No.
Our frequent operations are what? Our frequent operations are adding the data at last. Last we are adding the data, searching, data accessing. Okay, data accessing. Then which one is recommended, guys? Then use what? ArrayList, right? Exactly. But our frequent operations are what? Inserting data and remove the data in the middle. Insertion, comma, removing middle of the data, middle, like adding insertion and remove the data middle, and what? Yeah, our frequent operation like insertion and remove middle, guys. Then use what? Then use a linked list, right? Yes, this is a correct statement, right? Our frequent operations are adding the data at last. I'm not talking about limitations, guys. I'm talking about the advantage of the array list versus linked list, right? When to use array list and when to use linked list, right? Guys, when to use the array list and linked list, when to use the linked list, right? That is the data, guys. Our frequent operations are adding the data at last, or searching operations wise and data accessing wise, then array list. Yeah. And question number 20, how the array list about the fast random data access? How the array list supports fast random data access? Tell me, guys, how it will provide access? Random access.
Get.
Because
By using get.
Using. No. Using what? Because
ArrayList implemented random access.
Because it is
Index-based.
implementing what? Index is
Random
okay.
Index.
No, index is okay. Searching operation is index is okay. Data accessing process, because it is implementing the random access function interface, right? Random access mark interface, right? Random access mark interface, which provides data accessing capabilities, right? Guys, how it is providing the data accessing fast means because it is implementing the random access mark interface, which provides the data accessing capabilities, right? Data accessing data access, which provide the data accessing capabilities, right? Data accessing capabilities, guys, which provides data accessing capabilities, right? Exactly. That's a question number 20. Good. 21. Guys, what the 21 tell me? The linked list is done. Fine. Double linked list implementations. Fine. We can add one collection data into another collection. Array list versus array list versus linked list, right? Stack. What the data set will follow? Stack follow what is the data structure?
Stack data structure.
Last in first.
Last in first out, right? LIFO order, right? What is a stack order? What is the stack order? Order in the sense what, guys? It follows what? LIFO, right? Last in first out. It follows the LIFO order, right? Which is like nothing but last in. Tell me, last in what? First out, right? Last in, we can take the first out, right? That's it. LIFO order it will follow. So what is a stack order? Means it follows the LIFO, right? Last in first out. Good. Guys, are you clear about this all the points, right? Total how many questions you made? Total 21 questions. After the break, how many questions we added? Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions we added. Okay, fine. Guys, everyone is clear about these points, right? Okay, fine. Guys, can please join tomorrow using same link, the same timing. Okay, collection framework, interview questions. Okay, yeah. Guys, can you please join the tomorrow at the same timing to discuss the concept? And for the day, let me share this class notes, guys. To share these class notes regarding collections topic, yeah, let me share one small website for you. producttest.com/ okay, collection, COLLECTION, collection. Collection, if you take collection, yeah, Ratan collection. Just you can type the type name is like Ratan collection. As you got the name right, Ratan collection here. Guys, today class notes, let me place a complete class notes here. This is a complete class notes here. And this is a collection framework class notes. And entry questions we are preparing, right? We are under the preparation. These are the entry questions.
What is the password, sir? Java.
So guys, to access this class notes, everyone try to open this link. Yeah, try to open this link. producttest.com/Ratan collection is there. When you open this one, guys, it is asking password. The password for that link is Java. JAVA is the password. Right? Guys, JAVA is what? Yeah, JAVA is the password, right? Exactly. Good. Guys, that's all for the today class. Join tomorrow. And guys, everyone please take some time to write some reviews in Google. So because these days everyone checking the reviews to attend the classes. I hope you enjoyed the collection framework that day. Collection framework for the day. Just you can check some website to write some reviews, right? Guys, we have mouthshot.com. This is a website, okay, generally to share the reviews and all. What are the reviews that we have? What you feel, just you can write there. You have the time, right? Just 2 minutes, take the 2 minutes time, write some review about myself. Okay. Yeah. Is there any other questions, please? Is there any questions?
No.
Yeah. Guys, you try to check my videos in YouTube, and if you need anyone Spring classes, just you can take Spring by Ratan something. You'll get that information automatically. Concurrent hash map, we'll discuss mapping concept. I'll discuss next week. Chandan. Share the oops intro questions, please. Okay. Ultimate. Who is this ultimate Hithiot? Who is this person here? You need the Yodita. Oh. Guys, here just you can take oops polymorphism poly. Coming to the oops intro questions also I'll share you. Guys, but take some time to write some reviews about our class. My name. Mention my name, guys. Don't Durgasoft, okay, but mention name Ratan sir is great, Ratan sir is that, Ratan sir is this, Ratan sir approach is like that, Ratan sir interview questions are like this. Yeah, you try to check this. It's almost 100 questions I placed here. Just you can check the 100 questions. This is the collection framework class notes here. This is a collection framework entry questions that we prepared today. And this is the oops concepts entry questions, right? Yeah. Is it clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Bye, guys. Tomorrow we'll meet by 8 o'clock.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Don't forget to write the reviews.
Sure, sir. Sure. Well done.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.